right, guys. Episode 4, Big Steaks and Protein Shakes. Welcome back. Happy to have you guys back with us. Again, my lovely co-host, Angel and Desmond.
Dang, I can't believe it's been a month already.
Yeah, we've been for a month.
Crazy.
So, really appreciate all of you that have been listening. We've got some really great feedback. I got a really good review, actually. I don't know who it is, but on Apple, it was MX Sandy 14, I believe. They said something along the lines of great father-son duo, really interesting combo. So shout out to them. Also, a couple more. And for anybody that does give us a 5-star review on Apple or any of the review sites where you can leave a little comment as well, we'd be happy to read them off and give you a shout out for just giving us some love.
Yeah.
So, all right, man. Episode 4, where you at? What's new? What's going on this week?
Not a whole lot. I'm going to Colorado going snowboarding, so I'm looking forward to that. Spend some time with my friends and my friend's family. It's like another family to me. So
very cool.
Yeah, I haven't hung out with them in a while, so I'm excited.
Well, you're a busy guy, so it'll be nice to get back and enjoy.
I know.
So
I think I'll use that time to I'm going to enjoy the time, and then I'll really reset when I get back. You know what I mean?
Well, reset in more ways than one. We're day 30 of 75 hard phase 2.
I know.
So this will wrap up phase 2 for us today.
Yeah, I get to
You're very relieved.
I'm over it, man. I love it, and I was thinking about it the other day, and I didn't make as much physical progress as the first 75 days and then the phase 1, but just the mental progress I made through phase 2, and then for some reason I'm getting way stronger. I'm not really strength training really. I'm going trying to lose weight, so I'm just what the hell's going on? But I think it's because I've really cut back on the amount of weight I'm pushing, and I'm trying to focus on form, which is really helping me with my explosion and all that. So just taking a different approach, and it's working out. But I think I'm gonna do 75 hard again eventually. Maybe not right after, but we'll see.
Well, I think I'm definitely gonna do it again. I think we still have to get to phase 3.
Yeah.
So part of that is going to be talking to a random stranger every day.
Easy.
And a random act of kindness every day. But it can't be the same random act of kindness.
Really?
Yeah.
What the hell are you supposed to do for 30 days?
Let's figure it out. Get on those forums and see, ask the question, what were your guys' random acts of kindness? Some of the questions I ask.
You do holding the door, I bet.
What?
Holding the door open.
Let's see, that's just more something that...
That's common courtesy.
It's common courtesy. At least, how I was raised, how you guys were raised is common courtesy.
Yeah.
But, that'll be fun. That'll be exciting. Today I went to a meeting where really, they asked, what have you done over the last, year that has significantly changed something fundamental about you? I think of the 75 hard.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not for everybody. I think everybody should try it. I do, but I don't think everybody can complete it. I'll be honest and say that even for a guy that was as active as I was before 75 hard, it came to surprise me that I made it through 75, hard through the days, the 75 days, and then once we hit phase 1, I was like, I got this shit.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah, and the first couple weeks, I restarted 75 hard, I don't know if you remember. Not because I failed or anything, I just felt I wasn't really getting anything out of it.
Yeah.
So I had to reevaluate what I was doing. And obviously it worked out, but my gosh, if I would have guessed how hard it would have been actually towards the end, I would have never guessed, because I was just okay, drink a gallon of water, read some pages, a couple workouts, 45 minutes, whatever. But it's just draining, man.
It is, and then fitting it all into your day is part of the issue too. Even the gallon of water. You and I both drink a shit ton of water. Usually, even during the summer, I drink usually about 2 gallons of water.
Yeah.
But when you're now having to do it, like, how was it, 2 nights ago? I'm sitting there and like, I have like a whole, like, probably quarter gallon left. And I'm like, it's 11 p.m. I'm gonna pee my bed. Like, I had to chug it all down, and I woke up a million times. Luckily, did not pee the bed, but I had to wake up like probably 5 or 6 times to go pee. And I'm like, man, this should not. Like, why is it this way? Like, I've never had an issue with this before. I could finish 2 gallons.
I haven't had an issue with drinking water the whole time. I mean, I typically drink a gallon of water by like midday, so I mean it's really easy because I get up at 4 a.m. I try to drink some water before I go to work.
See, but I don't know if it's also because of the fact that, like, for example, so like if I take a client out to lunch, or if I go and, talk real estate with another agent, or I take mom out to lunch, or, just on a date, like, then I'm figuring, like, I'm drinking iced tea, and, like, usually, like, when I drink iced tea, I'll go through, like, 3 of them.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, I'm like, oh, shit, I still have all this water. So I think that might be a factor, too, like, and I mean, it's so funny because, like, there's one sushi place we go to, Sushi Cortero, where, they're really good about bringing me a new iced tea every time that I'm running low, and I'm like, damn it, like, next time I go in there, I have to tell them, no, just stop. If I get through one, just stop.
Yeah, my thing is lemonade every time I go out because I don't like soda a whole lot. I really like those sugar-free root beers. I had one a couple months ago.
Sugar-free root beer?
Yeah, surprisingly so good.
Soda guy.
I'm not really either, but like lemonade's my thing. So like since I can't really drink anything when I go to restaurants, I'll probably go through like 4 or 5 glasses of water. And like when Emma and I go out, I'm just like waiting to get more water because I'm just so thirsty all the time. It's ridiculous. I'm just like, can you just leave the pitcher? Like, I don't know. I don't want to ask them that because I don't know if they would, but.
Say, look, I drink a lot of water. Just leave the pitcher here. Your tip depends on it. Well, it's like, when you go to a restaurant and all of a sudden you're sitting there and like, you don't notice you need a drink refill until your drink is fucking empty.
I know.
And then, depending on how busy they are, like, I can't imagine being service sometimes because there are times when I can imagine it's absolutely nuts. But it's like, as the customer, you're sitting there, you're out of your drink, and you're like dying of thirst, like, they're getting a bad tip.
I used to think like that, but I can't, unless it's like very bad, where like they just don't care. Like, I usually give them the benefit of the doubt, especially because like my best friend's a server, and like, I mean, nowadays like people are just so rude to them because like they close down a lot of the restaurants. So like the people that end up coming back to work either like brand new or like they're not gonna put up with bullshit anymore from like old people that come in and are super rude. Not just old people, but like everybody. But like,
well, I think the part of the problem with that is that the world forgot kindness and the shutdown. A lot of people forgot kindness. Like when they started going to restaurants, everybody's short staffed. Like, dude, patience goes a long way. So like when it's super busy, I'm totally like, unless they're being blatant and like walking by like 5 times and not even bothering to look in my directions, or when I'm sitting there with my hand up like, hey, excuse me, like, then I'm like, all right, your tip's gonna be shit if you're ignoring. Because it's tips based on service, like, and unfortunately, like for the cooks and all that, like, the face, and this is the thing, right? So real estate, I'm the face of the whole transaction. Yeah. If my title people do a shitty job, if the other, the other clients, buyer or seller side is the opposite of mine, their title people are not on point. If they're, have a listing and the lender is just dropping the ball, the other agent and I are the face of the transaction, and when people walk away, most times they remember, oh, well, I didn't have a good experience with them. Yeah. Same thing in food. You're the face of the transaction. When I come in and sit down and buy food, it's kind of one of those things, but I don't know. How did we get on the subject?
I don't even know.
We'll take a tangent. Anyhow, so but that kind of goes into our word of the week. Is if you provide shitty service, it is a form of failure. Yeah. So, all right, word of the week is failure.
You go first this time.
I go first. I go first. Okay. So failure, what does it mean to me?
Yeah.
Well, many things. So failure can be correlated with the fact of non-achievement, right? Like there's a goal you have and you don't achieve it. That could be failure. Failure can also be a feeling, emotion.
Yeah.
A lot of people struggle with that one. For me, mainly failure is, and I think probably in the last 5 years, I like to think of failure as a lesson. So that's the way that I choose to look at it now.
Yeah.
What about you?
No, I agree. And it's not the last 5 years for me. It's more like the last maybe year, maybe less than that. But like before, when I used to fuck things up, I'm just like, oh shit, I'm a failure at this, or like I'm not going to be good at that. But I don't know. I've seen so many damn quotes on this, but like it's along the lines of like, you can't get to where you want to be successful without failing. Like those are stepping stones. So like you can fail 100 times along the way, but it's not putting you backwards at all. It's just redirecting you into the right direction.
Well, I mean, it's that old Thomas Edison thing, right? I didn't fail 10,000 times. I discovered how not to reclaim 10,000 times.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. But it's funny because now the way that I think of it, I actually subscribe to the fact that everybody should want to fail. Because failure is a stepping stone.
I still haven't got to that point. Like, I know it's exactly what you're saying, and, like, I agree, but, like, I still haven't got to that point, because every time I still, like, I fail, and I'm just like, fuck, man, I get, like, super down on myself, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but failure is correlated by the fact that, excuse me, so if you, I believe, and I've said this many times, you can only fail if you don't try again. And even if that's, I think I said it in episode 1 or 2, if you start a business and you have to close the doors, let's say you have a 2-year run and the business has to close and it fails, you, yes, had a failure on your record. But the only way you truly fail is if you do not do something else. If you don't start again and use that failure as a lesson.
Mm.
I think short-term failure is a lot different than long-term failure. And not being scared of failure is one of those things that I think comes with age. So Paulo Coelho was a author who wrote The Alchemist. Mm. Great book if you haven't read it or listened to it. If you listen to it, I highly suggest Jeremy Irons, the guy that, he's had a lot of movies, but most recently he played Alfred for Ben Affleck's Superman.
Yeah.
Or Ben Affleck's Superman. Ben Affleck's Batman. Sorry, there's a whole Restore the Snyderverse thing going on. There's been all sorts of tweets going on about Batfleck and Henry Cavill and all that. So, but anyways, Paulo Coelho wrote The Alchemist, and I remember the quote correctly. There's only one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve, and that's the fear of failure. So, I mean, in all reality, fear and failure, if you have fear of it, you're fucked. Like, you have to accept that you're gonna fail. Yeah. It's on how grand of a scale, so let's say you're trying to start a business and it fails. What feeling are you left with right now? Like, how do you correlate that?
I mean, you're probably upset. Like, is that what you're looking for? Or, like...
I'm not looking for anything. I'm asking, like, in terms of when you experience failure, what do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely upset. I feel upset when I fail at things, and, like... I mean, lately I've been feeling, like, driven. But, like, that wasn't the case several months ago, you know what I mean? Like, it would just bring me down, and then I would go back into that cycle of just, like, being lazy and like not trying really, just going along with how life rolls, you know. But like now it like drives me, so that because I know if I failed, I at least tried. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's cool.
And if I keep trying, I'll eventually not fail. So yeah, so that's the way I look at it.
I like that. You know, like, I mean, so right before the new year, I had a couple series of pretty big failures that really affected things in a pretty big way. And, you know, there was days where I was like, yeah, I don't want to get out of bed. I just want to stay in bed and hide under the covers. Not really the covers. My ass doesn't stay under the covers. Just sleep on the sheet because they're too hot. But I just want to lay under the sheet, you know, just fucking hide away. Or I could bounce back and figure out the next move.
Mm-hmm.
You know, none of it was took me off the path which I was on, but I definitely had to make some changes.
Yeah.
So this, I mean, failure can be one of those things where it like drags you real far down. But I think when it comes to understanding what failure really is, what it can do for you, it can be a great, going back to our last word of the week, motivator. It can be a great motivation.
Yeah.
You know, it can push you to achieve more. So, I don't know. I mean, I think at this point in my life, failure is actually a good thing, as crazy as that sounds.
Yeah.
It teaches you.
And I think that since I've kind of come to realize that a lot younger than maybe you did, then I think it's going to benefit me a lot more like in the next few years, because I mean, like I'm working just a regular job. I could just do that and be fine, you know. I can make it. But like if I want more for myself, I'm gonna have to try different things, try to become successful, and I will fail. You know what I mean? Like that's just the process of it. Like if you ask any successful person, there's probably nobody that's not failed. You know what I mean? And I don't mean like people that like inherited a bunch of money because they don't have to try for that. You know what I mean?
Even then, most of those people fail because they don't know what the hell they're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But they fail with the success. You know what I mean? So.
I mean, I definitely agree with that. I think the fact that you are understanding that, and of course, the understanding grows as you go through shit, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I understand it, and I say that like I'm trying to follow it, but like I still find days where I'm just like, fuck, man, like I had a shitty day yesterday. Things didn't go my way. I'm gonna fucking be lazy today. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing. You know, it's so. I forget exactly what he said, but David Goggins had this video he put out where it's like, on the days where you don't feel like fucking doing it, those are the days where you really have to.
Yep.
You know, like,
I know what you're talking about.
It's just one of those things where, like, you know, I think it was 2 days ago, I did not feel like going to work out. Like, I was just tired. It was 2 days ago.
That was me yesterday.
It was like Friday, I think, or Thursday. I had stayed up all night editing the podcast. Last Sunday's released episode 3. Trying to get the YouTube video, ready to go and get uploaded. And it was Saturday night, in fact, because we were going to be releasing it Sunday.
Yeah.
And then I woke up on Sunday and I'm like, I've gotten like 2.5 hours of sleep. I have to do my 2 workouts today. And usually I get up and the first thing I do is I kiss mom, I kiss your sister, say good morning to everybody. And I get up and get ready for the gym. And I go. I didn't want to. I just wanted to lay in bed and sleep longer. I knew I didn't want to, so I got the fuck up and I went and did it. And then afterwards, it was leg day. And I always look forward to leg day now, which is funny because I used to hate it. But I had a phenomenal leg workout.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what that is.
I find that too. When
I want to get the fuck up.
Yeah. Those days where you're like, man, I really don't want to go to the gym. Like those sometimes are like the best workouts. For some reason.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's crazy. Like every time that I go, like yesterday when I went with Adrian, I did not want to go to the gym. I was not feeling it. I was going earlier than I had planned on, so I was not physically ready yet. I wasn't mentally prepared. And I freaking went in with no caffeine on the day. I didn't really eat yet because it was still pretty early. And I had a really good workout. Like, it was quick and short. Like, it was like an hour and 15 minutes. But, like, it was a really good workout. And, like...
See, that's the weird thing, is that I think every time we don't want to do something, like you said, it usually results in the best work.
Yeah.
Why? That should make no sense.
And I think it's only when things you like, because, like, on my days off, I can wake up at 4 or 5 a.m. and go to the gym, no problem. But then the minute I have to wake up at 4 a.m. for work, I lay in bed and I'm like, I really don't want to go to work.
Do you know why that is?
Why?
It's because it's something you want to do versus something you have to.
Yeah.
That's the moral of the story. Like, and that's why I push so hard for people to chase what the hell they want to do. Because nobody wants to get the fuck up to go to work and like, yeah, you get paid. Most of the time, you don't get paid enough.
Yeah.
You know, you bust your ass, no matter how hard you bust your ass, your pay doesn't go up that day.
Exactly.
You know, like you can bust your ass for months, and they might still tell you, no, we don't really, have the resources to give you a raise. You know, so it's one of those things where when you go to the gym, you know what you control, right? All the work you do with your two hands, you know what you're putting in. You know what you're going to earn that day. At work, you know what you're going to earn. Most of the time, it's nowhere near to the return you're going to get on the investment with these.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's why, like, it's kind of shitty to say, and I don't think that most people should think this way, but, like, I could probably outshine most of my coworkers, like, with my work ability alone, just because, like, if I really, like, actually tried at my job, like, it's a piece of cake. Like, I don't know, like, I'm usually there for, like, my 7-8 hours, but, like, I could finish in, like, 3-4 hours, especially now, because grocery stores are having, like, such a really hard time getting stuff in.
Yeah,
like,
there's shortages all over the place.
Yeah, and, like, I just milk it, because, like, I'm scheduled that long anyway. Like, I could leave early every day, but then I get paid less. And then, like, if you work harder, they expect you to pick other people's slack up. They still won't pay you more. Like, I can't justify beating myself up working for somebody else, you know what I mean? Unless, like, it's something I want to do.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that when you find something you want to do, like, for example, when I'm sitting at, a computer for extended, like, I hate being on my computer. It's not fun.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I know that if I'm sitting there and I'm looking up properties for various clients, or I'm running comps for various clients, about to list their house, like, things like that, like, I'm having a blast because I really enjoy what I do. I enjoy helping people. Like,
yeah,
there's the whole, there's a whole other factor of that, like, of why I love my job. But, like, I mean, if you're sitting there and you're doing something you love, you're willing to invest more time, and you're willing to work harder, work more, and aside from that, like, I look at it this way, like, in my position, as much as I work, I earn that money.
Yeah.
If I take 2 months off, I'm earning shit.
Yep.
So it correlates a lot with loving what you do, doing what you love, and, like, having a passion for it.
Yeah.
So, speaking of work, world's strongest milkman.
Yeah. Probably not the world's strongest, but
that was so fucking hilarious.
It's hilarious. I felt like an old man posting that, like, cringy, like, 40-year-old dude at the gym type of shit, and I'm just like, whatever, this shit's funny.
It is funny, dude. It was great. Like, I mean,
it's cringy, but it's pretty funny.
I might have to edit it into the podcast. It's funny because, like, it's one of those things where I kind of think I want to take your idea and fucking do it for my job, but, we work out, these big fucking strong dudes. We don't compete in strongman competitions.
No. And I mean, like, there was a little hot minute there I thought about doing, like, a powerlifting meet or something. And, like, maybe eventually I will, before I get too old and, like, start, like, really having injuries.
Oh, yeah, 22, you're so old right now.
No, just, like, with my back issues and my shoulder and knee stuff, like, my ankle stuff, like, I have to recover first. And like, I'm already making insane progress. Like, my ankle flexibility is like tripled what it used to be. Like, my shoulder doesn't hurt nearly as bad. I've been really taking care of it. I'm fixing my squat form and my deadlift form so that I don't have back issues every time I do it. And I've been relatively pain-free for the last 2 months. So it's working out.
So now you're like having that idea of like,
yeah,
fuck shit up.
And like, I'm getting stronger, and like, yeah, I'm still like heavier. So like, me benching 345 isn't really that impressive because I weigh 250. You know what I mean? Like, it's still impressive. That's a lot of weight, but like, it's not nearly as impressive as some dudes I see on Instagram that are 180, 150 pounds that can bench that weight more. I'm just like, oh man, like,
bro, how many of those guys are natties?
I would say you can definitely tell, like, most of the time. Like, there's those SARM goblins nowadays. Like, have you heard of SARMs at all?
No.
It's like I don't even know if they classify it as a PED. I would imagine so, but it's like this new steroid type thing that it's just like, it makes you freaking huge. It's ridiculous.
See, like, that's the thing, is that kind of jumping onto that. Like, it's funny, I get asked sometimes when I'm working out, like, dude, what do you take? And I'm like, well, if you would have seen me in here fucking 7 years ago, I was,
exactly.
I was a big boy.
It's like it's a fucking, like, 10, 20-year progress. Like, I was talking to Rafe and Melissa at B-Strong, and, like, I don't remember how long they've been together or anything, but, like, Rafe was telling me that, like, 10 years ago, Melissa was, like, 20 pounds lighter? I don't really know. I don't want to get in the weight because she'll kill me. I don't know how much she weighs. I don't want to get wrong.
Disclosure.
She's awesome. And, like, she's an IFBB pro. She took 3rd or 4th in the Olympia. She took, like, 3 or 4 consecutive, maybe, in the Arizona Phoenix Open or something. I don't know what it's called.
Okay.
Yeah, she's awesome, man. Like, both of them are super smart.
Well, I've seen photos of both of them.
Yeah, like he was telling me, it's literally like a 10-year process to even like get to where you could compete, basically.
Well, that's, like, I forget, talking about those motivational videos, like, or like audio tracks. One of them had Jay Cutler talking about, like, you do this shit every day for 10 years, and you don't do anything else. Like, that's how you get to be like Mr. Olympia. Like,
yeah,
it's a 10-year fucking process. Like, that's why, like, when people ask me, like, oh, what do you take? I'm like, fucking whey protein and collagen. Like, maybe some pre-workout. Like, fucking, I don't know. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, everybody that's in the weight room has it. I put it this way: everybody that lifts for a hobby or a passion has either taken steroids or thought about taking steroids, regardless of whether you have or not. Like, I will tell you straight up, like, as a grown-ass man, I've never taken steroids. Never.
I used to think you did. I forget you were so goddamn big.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no way. Because you were like, I used to bench that when I was a freshman or sophomore. And like my senior year, and I'm like, yeah, fucking bullshit.
No, I mean, even in high school, I didn't take steroids. Like, the only thing I took back in high school was, there was this stuff, and it's still around, but it's called hydroxycut. And it had something in it that ended up getting banned. But, like, even then, I was a high school kid. Like, I wasn't taking, like, mass doses. Like, I was just taking it because it was like a pre-workout pill in a fucking bottle. Like, it just made you, like, like, I mean, that alone definitely, I'm sure it contributed, because it ended up, whatever substance it was, getting banned from, like, but at the same time, like, I wasn't taking, like, high doses, like, I wasn't taking, so we were in the weight room fucking pushing weight. But we also had Coach Dreyer, which at the time, like, he would call you all sorts of names if you weren't in there working your ass off. Like, just, I don't know. I think that those are motivating people for me, is the ones that are like, you can't do that? Dude,
that's how I am, man. Like, my boss at work, like, they'll get on my ass for some random stuff, and like they they think that the way to get to me like motivated to work is to like compare like my job to like football or the weight room, and I'm like, man, it ain't the same. Trust me.
It's not. Well, it's like that's the one place where, and I'll put this out there. It's very hard for me to get out of focus when I'm in the weight room. So, like, if somebody comes and starts talking to me about real estate, I'm like, I probably seem really uncomfortable talking about it, even though that's what I do for a living and I love talking about it. I feel really uncomfortable because I'm like, I want to get back to this head, bro. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go finish. Like, come talk to me afterwards. Shoot me a text. I don't give a fuck. Call me. Like, let's talk about this later. But, I don't know.
See, it's different for me because, I mean, this is what I want to be doing. This will be a personal trainer, so.
Well, that's the thing, though. But imagine if people were coming and talking to you about your day job.
Yeah, sure.
Like, that's the difference. It's where, like, you're like, hey, man, we got a big delivery this week. Like, you're like, don't give a fuck. Like, go away. You know? I mean, if somebody comes up, on the flip side of that, if somebody comes up and asks me about something I'm doing in my workout, I'll chat with them, but I'm still very like zoned in. So I'm like, here's your answer. This is what I do. Have a great day.
Yeah.
Like, I'll literally, people that talk to me in the gym will see this. And like, there's a few exceptions where if like I genuinely like you, I'll make the time to come over and say hi or talk to you. Or I just know you really well.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if not, I'm like, hey, have a great workout. Like, I try to end things quickly. Like, I ran into my buddy John today, and he started doing 75 hard after you and I started.
Oh, yeah, you told me about him.
And, 75 hard really, like, was a good thing for him, he said. And he really loved doing the program. But it's funny because I know John, I like John. Like, I sat there and talked to him today for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But, like, if you give me some random stranger, like, I'm not too sure. I'm like,
yeah.
All right, cool. Like, yeah, man, have a great workout. It's my time to fight. Like, it sounds stupid to most people, but iron therapy is a real fucking thing. Like, if you see me and I'm zoned out or I'm staring at the floor, like, in between my sets, there's some fucking demons I'm killing right now.
Exactly.
Let me be.
Oh, yeah. And, like, it's similar at my gym, but, like, I'll go in and, like, especially if you see the regular guys, like, there's a couple guys at my gym. It's Gavin and Kyle. I don't know how old Kyle is, but, like, Gavin's a younger guy. Just got into lifting, really. He boxed or did MMA for a while, and then this guy named Brian, he actually went to Marana High School, so he's a little older than me. But, like, I'll see them all the time. And, like, this other guy's name, I don't know his name. Or this other guy, I don't know his name. But, like, yesterday when we went, like, they were both benching at the same time, and, like, this one he's repping out, like, 315, and then Gavin, like, he just started lifting really. He's tall and lanky, got those boxing arms. He's repping out, like, 255, and, like, it was just hype in the weight room. Like, we're hyping each other up. It was, like, it's such a good time in there, like, and that shit really helps the workout, I think. And, like, sometimes I don't fucking talk to people because I put my headphones on, but, like, it was on aux, and, like, it's just a good time in there.
See, but that's the difference between somewhere like Be Strong and LA Fitness.
Conventional to...
Yeah, like a very commercial gym. Like, don't get me wrong, we talked about, I like LA Fitness because it has all the newer machinery. Yeah. But at the same time, I definitely appreciate the environment like Be Strong. It takes you back, like, somewhere like that, I can imagine it can take you back to, like, what the experience was for, like, when I went to high school. We left.
That's what Adrian said.
Because it's all, like, everybody's hyping, like, and, not always, but, like, there's more opportunity for that than there ever is in LA Fitness. Because in LA Fitness, you got a bunch of divas that are, like, worried about how they look in there. Yeah. Because they're trying to impress XYZ girl, or XYZ girl's trying to get the attention of XYZ guys. Like, it's just a different environment. So, yeah. I don't know. All right, man. So let's jump to our next topic for today.
Mm.
So, You actually presented this topic, so
yeah, it's a semi like we're gonna start doing like hot topics, like semi hot takes. And ours today is like it's like no matter where you start in life, like whether you start out like poor, rich, homeless, if you're living in a mansion, like it doesn't matter. Like how do I say it? Like to make sure it makes sense. It doesn't matter like where you start. It's about like where you finish. Which I mean, I love that saying. So that's pretty much how I'm going to say it. But like, it's basically like what you do in between, like from where you start to make sure you get to where you want when you're finished.
Yeah. Well, and I think that a lot of that has to do with. I mean, let's start from this angle. So, let's say you're born into a rich family. Where you finish could very well possibly still be a rich family. The thing that I think about in that instance is the fact that you can be rich your whole life and not have done shit. Mm-hmm. Not have. I think in that angle, like the sense to be, who did you affect in a positive way? I mean, obviously the stories where you start with nothing and then, you make something of your life, whether it be financially, emotionally, spiritually, whatever your systems are. I think those are a little more impressive to me. I'm biased because obviously my experience.
Yeah.
But I definitely think that, and I have some mixed feelings on this, and this might get a little controversial. So, for example, I kind of referenced this back in episode 1, I think. I've been homeless twice. And, one of those times I slept in my car. The other time I wasn't so lucky. I did end up crashing on a couple couches from here, for a little bit. There was one night where I slept on a fucking patio chair. That was miserable. But being homeless twice and understanding what that means not to have somewhere to go to lay your head at night, that you feel secure, you feel safe, it gave me a drive that, and how do I put this? It gave me a drive that didn't appear until a little bit later. It was still kind of I could call a kid in my early 20s and didn't know what the fuck was going on. Mm-hmm. But here's where the controversy comes in. So, going with, where you finish, there's one homeless guy that I'm pretty sure he either has passed away since then or whatnot, but there was a time where I was working at a Circle K here in town, and this homeless guy would come in every day and buy his beer and his cigarettes. And even 10 years later, he was still in the same corner, doing the same thing, and I'm sure doing the same thing every day. 10 years later, granted, I wasn't working at a Circle K at that point, but, that means that he literally, deliberately, did that shit for 10 years. I could have stayed homeless for 10 years, but I didn't, because I knew that if I stayed that way, there was all sorts of shit that could happen to me, might happen to me. Don't get me wrong, there's people that are homeless that, have some issues that they can't resolve on their own.
Yeah.
But part of that is also, our world really needs to be better about offering more resources to people that are in that position. Because some people don't know that they need help. That also comes into play with working at the psych hospital. Some people don't know that they need help. But those that do, they don't always know where to go to get them.
Yeah.
Or things can become really difficult. Like if you're homeless and you don't have your ID, you don't have your birth certificate, you don't have all this shit that they require, give people help. and then help them get on their feet. Like, I could see a lot of money being used towards that, but that's a whole different topic.
Yeah.
I think that one of the things that comes into play with that topic is the fact that you're looking at, so it's that process of what you do, right? And I could have worked at every shitty hourly job that I worked and just kept that, with the same fucking, like, stuck in that hole, like I referenced back, like having to make payment arrangements, having to live check by check, like all of that.
Yeah.
Or you take a leap of faith and, you never know where you're going to finish. The truth is, it's like a lot of people are fear of dying, right? Like, what if I die? Well, what if I fucking die tomorrow?
Yeah.
What if I didn't try anything? What did I do?
Yeah.
And I mean, I know I kind of jumped all over the place with that, but like, there's a lot of thoughts behind that one where I definitely, the controversy in that lies in the fact that I think that no matter where you start, if you're homeless, you can still become successful. And in more than one sense of the word, not just financially, but I mean, if you're a person that has that habits, that morals, that finances, that anything, you can always develop yourself to become the person that you want to be. But one thing that I think people do have to avoid, though, is becoming who they think people want them to be.
Yeah. I agree. And I think on like the flip side, like if you maybe are a little more fortunate and you're brought into this world, like you don't really have to worry about anything, you don't have to struggle. I think it's about like what you do with that, because like if you don't have to struggle and like say like you belong to a very wealthy family where like you don't have to do anything, you know what I mean? Like they pay for everything and you get a bunch of money when you're an adult, and then you can just basically blow it if you want. But like if you can make sure that you invest it, if you set up like the generations after you, you know what I mean? Like I think that's where you should finish. Like not like finish because you never know where you're going to finish, but I think that's what they would do. Like that's what you should do on the other end. You know what I mean? Because I mean, like you don't have to struggle a whole lot. Obviously, like people can get very ignorant when they have a lot of wealth if it was just given to them if they didn't earn it. You know what I mean? Which I see a lot of times. So like if you can get past being ignorant, if you can get past like not being entitled really, but like having, I don't know, I'm at a loss for words. I can't think of anything.
Well, I mean, I think about the fact that, like, for example, so my dad, he did very well for himself over the course of his career. And, when I was younger, I always thought, like, my dad will help. My dad will help.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and it wasn't until the fact that, like, I realized that if I didn't achieve what I wanted to on my own, like, I always think of the eulogy speech, right? Like, what are people gonna say? What are people gonna say about me when I die? And not in the context that I care, but will my life have mattered?
Mm-hmm.
Like, did I affect change on people? And I mean, let's put it this way. For somebody who's, inherits a shit ton of money, or they come from a well-to-do family, like, if they're just floating through life, like, I don't know what I want to do, because I don't really have to do anything, like, that's kind of the mentality I took when I was in my, early 20s. Like, I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do, like, because I didn't see the depth of, like, not just being defined as successful or not successful, but, like, how do you affect people? Like, okay, as I watched you guys grow, my actions have a direct correlation with how you guys view certain things, how you guys approach certain things. My response to, for example, if there's an emergency, how do you respond when your kids are watching, even if they're not paying attention directly?
Yeah.
They're going to interpret how you respond. If there's a family crisis, or there's a death in the family, or there's how you respond leaves a lasting effect. You know? And so you start thinking about that.
Yeah. And I think that when you were younger and you were like, oh, my dad said help me, that falls into what you said about how, like, you shouldn't try to become what other people think that you should. You know what I mean? If I said that right.
I think that's a big thing, is that I think that what that boils down to, and if you don't invest in figuring out who you are, what you want to do, and I mean, I was watching this thing on Egypt last night, and this lady was talking about how, I think, what was her name? Kathleen Martinez, and she's now an archaeologist. Well, her parents wanted her to go to school to become a lawyer, so that's what she did. And then she became an archaeologist because that's really what she wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like, how many years of life do you spend, like, you know, doing things for others versus doing things for yourself? Yeah, and that's one of those things where, when it comes to where you finish in life, a lot of that has to do with the fact that you have to cut your own path. Like, somebody can lay out a perfectly, you know,
golden brick road.
Yeah, and this is not going to matter, because if it's not your brick road, like, then let's put it this way: when where you do finish, are you happy? Because I think a lot of life, people forget that, like, you know, I say this more often than I think I realize sometimes, but so you live in a house that's a box, right? You go to work, it's another box. You know, you get in your car, it's another box. You know, you're put into all these containers, and we're made to believe that's what life is. It's all these containers, and I sell these boxes for a living. I mean, everybody has to have somewhere to live, but the whole point of what I'm saying is that you put in all these containers, and you're made to believe that this is life. This is exactly what life is supposed to be. Problem with that, and this is the thing that I keep on saying, is that we are literally on a floating ball of water, rock, and lava, flying through fucking space. I mean, unless you think that, you know, Earth is a flat earthers and all that shit, but we're literally flying through space, and yet most people get worried about the stupidest shit, and they stress about the stupidest shit because they think that that's real life. I think the whole point of this life and where you finish should end with some sort of happiness. If you're, and you know, I'll go and say this: if you're happy being homeless, and you're happy panhandling, and that's really, like, becomes your passion, maybe you stay homeless, and that's where your start becomes your end.
Yeah.
But if that's not what makes you happy, why the fuck are you still doing it? I was not happy being homeless.
Yeah.
I was not happy with the conditions of what life was. So I changed it. And if at any point I become unhappy in the fact that, you know, like, let's say, for example, I find something else that I love more than doing real estate, then I'll chase the fuck out of that.
Yeah. I like that. I'm kind of in between right there, because I'm having to work this, like, day job, pay my bills and stuff, but I'm still working towards where I want to be. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm in that little in between phase.
Yeah, that phase sucks.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's put it this way, even if it's 2 years, and that's a long time, but even if it's 2 years, 2 years is completely, like, and it's funny because I'm sure you'll notice this as you get older and older, but you know, when I was growing up, adults would always say, time just goes faster as you get older. And I thought, fucking stupid. Like, there's still 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day. Like, I thought it was the stupidest fucking statement ever. And here I am, grown-ass, you know, man with fucking grown-ass kids, and my daughter's 9, and I'm thinking to myself, my daughter's 9. She was just born, like, 2 weeks ago. Come on, like, what happened? Like, so it really does. It speeds up on it. And I don't know, and I'm not fully sure why, but
I think it's just because we're more busy as adults, and like,
see, these kids were meant to be kept busy.
Yeah, but you have things that like occupy your life that are like important enough to like stress about. You don't really have any worries as a kid, so you know, the concept of time is just like, oh, I'm gonna go to school.
Yeah, I mean that's true, but at the same time, like, I mean, the perception of time.
You don't have to really keep time as a kid, you know? Like, we have to keep time, like, oh, I have 5 more hours in my shift at work, you know, that type of thing.
Yeah, but trust me, we'll have this conversation again in, you know, what, 13 years? And I'll ask you, you know, like, time goes by faster, and we'll see what you say. We'll reference
no, I think
we'll reference, no, but I mean, I completely agree with what you're saying, but at the same time, there is another layer to that. Because the way the time actually works for you as you get older, like, I don't feel like I should be the age that I am. I feel like I should be like 7 years younger.
Yeah.
And it feels like time just fucking hurried the fuck up for me when I had wanted to. Almost like that movie Click. Like, he's like,
yeah. It's weird. I feel like my brain hasn't changed since I turned 18 or anything like that.
That's the grand secret of being an adult, though. Like, as an adult, you will always sit there and go, you can be the fucking next one. The next one. And you will sit there after giving a speech and tell yourself, they really take me seriously. Like, do I look the part? Am I, like, you have this imposter syndrome, but I think that never fully goes away. Because I think there's a lot of factors that go into like creating self-doubt, but I think we're programmed from a young age to like not fully be like, and some people might fucking fully be able to step into their fucking shit and just be like, this is it.
Yeah.
And they might not have a single thought like, did I take me seriously? You know?
It's kind of how I feel when I'm signing people up for the gym or like talking to them about it, especially when they're like in really good shape, and I'm just like yeah, I'm in decent shape, but like I'm definitely like, I don't look like an average like trainer, you know what I mean? And like that's part of that thing. It's like you have to look the part, blah blah blah. But like I like when I first started doing this, I was like, fuck man, like I gotta get in really good shape for this, which like I do. Like I'm not gonna have people do exercises that I can't do, you know what I mean? So like there's a little truth in that, but like I don't have to be 7% body fat to be a personal trainer.
And I mean, the thing is like you look at one of the people that I can reference in that thought is The Rock's trainer. Like, don't get me wrong, he's super buff too, but he doesn't look like The Rock because he's not trying to look like The Rock.
Yeah,
he's training The Rock to look like The Rock. You know, I always laugh about that because you'll see like
I haven't seen what he looks like.
Yeah, I'll send you an Instagram. You'll see super fit people that work out with these, you know, trainers that like aren't as fit as they are. But then you really do the math and it's like, okay. But that guy isn't focused on getting to where that client wants to be. He's focused on getting that client where that client wants to be.
Yeah.
So there's a different perception of that, and a different reality of what's needed versus what's, you know. You don't get me wrong, like when I first started working out, you know, like now when people come up and say like, man, how do you get your shoulders to look like that? I'm just like, I'll tell you. Well, you're somebody come up to me 7 years ago and be like, man, how do you get your shoulders to look like that? Like, eat a lot of junk food.
I still don't know how your shoulders are so big.
It's because I worked them the fuck out.
I thought you said you didn't train your shoulders.
Dude. No, I didn't train my back for a long time.
Oh.
All my legs, because my back problem.
That's why your legs are small.
I don't have small legs. Your legs are... Your legs are big. Mine are almost there. And I will beat you. Just so you know.
Nope.
That's what it is.
No, sir.
Well, man, I feel like this is really good talk. I feel like I did a lot of talking, but I feel like this was long. And some of that comes with the fact of just the shit that I've been through.
Yeah, and I mean, this is like, I'm 22, you know, and I failed, but I'm going to fail a lot more, you know what I mean? And
I look forward to those failures.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I'll try.
some of them will eat at you, but, you know, it's the one thing where, here's a fucking hot take for you, because I say it all the fucking time. You cannot dwell on the past, because you don't have a fucking time machine. And here's the hot take. In this shit, whether you agree with me or not, I'm sure there are people who are going to say, oh, no, you're wrong. There's no fucking time machine. And there never will be. Or else it would have already existed. Period. Can't fix the past. Can't change it, can't alter it. And there is no time machine. There never will be. It'll never be invented because it would have already been invented. It would have already existed. Even if it happened 100 years ago.
That makes so much sense.
It would have already fucking existed.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Some people get pissed off when I tell them that. They're like, no. Sorry. Like, look.
Unless they're just keeping it a secret, man. It's the government.
But even then, somebody has had to use it and change something. And I mean, you change something. It's that whole butterfly effect. Like, you change one thing. You could change the direction in which you step. One step to the left, you have this beautiful, happy life. One step to the right, you get hit by a fucking city bus and that's it.
Yeah.
Chapter end. You know? Like, that's the thing, is that everything's a butterfly effect. I really believe that. So, yeah, if you disagree, I'd love to know about it.
That's interesting. I've never thought about that.
It's fucking crazy, but like I was thinking about it. Like, it never does exist. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of sad to think about because everybody wishes they had a time machine, but at the same time, I think a time machine could be very dangerous. One slight change could alter your. You know, you think, oh yeah, how can I go back and give myself the winning lottery numbers? Well, what happens if you win the lottery and you become a fucking drug addict and you die fucking 3 weeks later from an overdose?
Right.
Like, but if you didn't know the lottery numbers, you had a perfectly happy life with beautiful family, beautiful experiences. You know, you traveled the world, but yet you wanted to go back and give yourself lottery numbers so you can be rich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh, before I forget, I want to wrap this up with one thing here. So, actually, two things. So I talked a little bit about the Tom Brady thing last episode. I just want to throw this in there because I think it's hilarious, and I hope this, I won't say his name, but there was a guy that was on a 49er forum, and I shared our last podcast with him, and he's like, no, we don't want to fucking get Tom Brady, Trey Lance is our starter, and I'm assuming just from this guy's post, he's an armchair quarterback. I don't know if he's ever played, it doesn't appear like it, I don't think he's ever coached. And, there's other people that were in the comments saying, like, yeah, you absolutely take Tom Brady, even if it's for one season. Like, it's Tom fucking Brady. Like, take him.
Yeah.
And this guy is just chewing everybody out, And I laugh because I'm like, Steve Young, for example, he will go down forever as an all-time great, right? Came behind Montana. He sat behind Montana for 4 years.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong with sitting the guy for more than one season.
Especially when you put Trey Lance behind Jimmy Garoppolo, which is like, yeah, like he wasn't the best on the 49ers, but like Jimmy Garoppolo sat behind Brady for however many years. And then if you put Trey Lance with that knowledge already from Garoppolo behind Brady for a year, I mean, essentially almost the same stuff, but like Tom Brady knows so much, like he could really benefit from that, I think.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And the other thing I wanted to throw out there was, I our Ducks are going to look fucking fierce.
Yeah, I hope so. Huge coaching changes and all that.
Yeah. I mean, Dan Lanning's brought in some guys, and I'm just like, okay, it's going to be an exciting fucking year. You know, like,
and the new strength training coach, I didn't think anybody could replace
Coach Feld.
Yeah,
dude, that guy was intense. With the new strength training coach, I'm excited to see what he brings. You know what? And I'm actually really excited to see what happens in regards to the quarterback situation. Because I mean, we had Thompson as the backup, but then Bo Nix from Auburn transferred over to Oregon. So hopefully that works out well. The quarterback situation. And then you got the O line, which I mean, the line for the Ducks has been pretty consistently good. Their running game has been really good. I'm sad that Troy Dye left USC, but I think Riddell's coming back, or
I don't know.
One of the guys that actually saw our story about Jordan, Jalen Jeffers, he's an O-lineman for the Ducks. Yep. I'm excited to see his season, so that'll be interesting, man.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be a fun thing. And then, of course, seeing which teams. I always hope that the Niners pick up a couple more Ducks. Like, look at how fucking divorced Buckner went. I know he went to the Colts, but how he worked out Eric Armstead, like, fucking dude, it's just not a bad ordeal. Nor, I still don't understand why he didn't play more, but especially with our cornerback situation.
Yeah.
But anyhow,
I want to get to that.
Yeah, I'm excited about the next season and all that.
Oh, yeah. Did you see the Aaron Rodgers bullshit going on? How he made some cryptic Instagram posts about his fans and family and all that.
Well, I mean,
and there's still no word because he went on the Pat McAfee show. I don't know how you say his last name. McAfee. McAfee. Something.
Wait.
Pat McAfee. Puncher from the Colts.
Yeah.
Pat McAfee. I said McAfee.
Yeah, but then it's because you get it confused with the old antivirus. Every time that guy's name comes up, there was antivirus that had a similar name.
No, but yeah, he went on there and there was nothing about his future on there, so.
Interesting. I don't know. Like I said, I still think that I stick by what I said. I think that Aaron Rodgers was and will be one of the greatest losers of all time. Just
sad though, man. I mean, I like Aaron Rodgers actually, and I think that he should be
a good player.
I just think that the Packers organization didn't put enough around him. I know they gave him really good receiving core. Their O-line struggled a little bit.
Yeah, but
they were good. And then their defense was really bad. They fixed the defense, but then this year's the special teams.
Yeah, but you look at that situation and you think, for example, 49ers season. We had a terrific O-line, terrific running game, terrific, pretty terrific defense in terms of our front. Our corners could have done a little bit better. But when it came down to it, the game just had a decision role. It was the quarterback. And for as much as, like I said, I think Garoppolo is he will be a good quarterback for the next team he plays for, and he definitely is a risk taker. It's that last play of the game where he took a risk that shouldn't have. Aaron Rodgers came up short. I came up short too many times.
I think he did come up short a lot, but I think that game was on special teams. Obviously, if Aaron Rodgers didn't play as bad as he did, it wouldn't have come down to special teams, but at the end of the game, it was.
Yeah, but that goes back to when you're quarterback of a team, the ball's put in your hands for one reason: to score. Of course, not every play, but your whole job is to drive your team down the field and score. Yeah. And if you don't do that, your special teams can suck. But if you're doing your job and your defense is doing their job, your special teams can goof once or twice. And as long as you're killing it,
don't know, man. Like, I agree, but, like, especially in a playoff game like that, like, it was a close game. Like, our defense is good. Our offense is good. Like, it was a close matched game. Like, that game should have came down to special teams. So, like, I'm glad it did, obviously, because we won that game. But, like, if Aaron Rodgers, like, he definitely did not play well that game. Like, they had every advantage in the world. It was super cold, snowing at Lambeau. Like, how many times has Rojo played? How many times has he played in that condition and then he lost to
exactly
a California team?
That helps my point.
Yeah, no.
Because if he plays lights out, they're off to the NFC Championship. Not us.
Yep.
Special teams aside. Like, if he would have played lights out, we would have been in the NFC Championship.
Yeah. And then it wouldn't have come down to special teams.
So, I'll say it again for the record. Aaron Rodgers is still the greatest fucking loser of all time. 4 times losses to the Niners.
Yeah.
In the fucking playoffs.
I know, right?
To the team that he wanted to go to. Like, maybe he's, like, doing it.
What if you jump to the 49ers this year?
I know. Like Rodgers.
I think that could be good.
You know what? I mean, I wouldn't mind it, but at the same time, if you're talking Brady or Rodgers, I'd rather take Brady. Like, I hate Brady. I hate and love the guy. But I'd rather have Brady. And
yeah, I would buy a Tom Brady for a Niners jersey.
I totally would. It's like when Randy Moss came in.
Yeah.
I had to get a Randy Moss jersey. Like, you know, it was like a fucking legend. Like, he was on our team. You know? Yeah. I still wish I had some of my old jerseys, like my old Jerry Rice jersey, my old like Steve Young jersey. My mom threw them all away when I was younger. Those I had a reversible Steve Young one that was red and white. And I was like, fucking, let's just throw this shit away.
Yeah.
But I think that's our show for the day.
I dig it.
All right. So that being said, where can they reach you?
On my Instagram page, Angel Big Legs Desma. It's linked on our Instagram, Big Steaks and Protein Shakes. Yeah, you hit me up about any questions for health and fitness, and I'll get back to you.
Great. All right.
What about you?
Me, you know.
You're old, you might not have an Instagram, but
I'm old and I don't have an Instagram. I have a fucking TikTok too. That's how I saw your fucking video. Well, no, because you put it on.
Yeah, it was on Instagram.
So it's on that show on TikTok. So for me, I am at Realtor520 Raul on Instagram and pretty much everywhere. TikTok. I think that's my Twitter handle as well. Not sure. But you can always reach out to me if you're looking to sell your house, if you're looking to buy a house. Definitely would advise that if you're looking to buy a house, I would say that now is the time. Rates are still, I hate to say this, but rates are still reasonable. For those of you that are in the real estate market or pay attention to it, rates are in the 4s right now, high 3s, low 4s. Still pretty cheap money. Of course, we're no longer in the 2s, but there was talk of the Feds raising the rates, so that should happen probably by the end of this quarter. So reach out to me. If you're looking to sell your home and you're wondering how much it's worth, please reach out, and I can help you go over that, what your options are. And if you're moving out of state, I can help you with that as well. Let me know, guys. As always, it's been a pleasure. It's been an honor. Enjoy your snowboarding trip.
Heck yeah, thanks, man.
And
we'll see y'all next week.
All right, guys.